Meet Ed Kemper, a name that strikes fear into the hearts of many. Known as the Co-Ed Killer, Kemper was a notorious serial killer who terrorized California in the 1970s. He was responsible for the brutal murder of several young women, earning him a place in infamy. What made Kemper even more chilling was his seemingly normal appearance and demeanor. Standing at 6'9" and weighing over 300 pounds, he was a towering figure with a gentle, soft-spoken voice. But behind that facade was a cold, calculating killer who lured his victims in with charm before committing heinous acts of violence.
I wanted to kill my mother since I was 8 years old, and I'm not proud of that. A month later, I'm up living with my grandparents in the mountains, and 10 months later, I murdered them. It made it worse to be on top of a mountain. I was literally on top of a mountain when it happened. And I sensed everybody in the world just stopping what they were doing, turning around, saw what I did, and are coming to get me. And I knew I was paranoid at that moment. I knew anybody that came up there and gave me a funny look or a fishy eye or quizzical look, I'd have blown their brains out thinking they were coming to get me. And if it had been in a city, I would have been a mass murderer at age 15. I would have killed until they gunned me down. I wouldn't have been able to reason my way out of it. I was scared to death, and I was violent. I felt my back hit that wall. I was the rabbit that always ran, that always backed away, always burned his bridges. Suddenly there weren't any more, and my back hit that wall, and I came out screaming and kicking and shooting.
Oh my God, we shouldn't have gotten this guy's car, and they're getting all puckered up, and I said, just bear with me, be patient. If I'm wrong, we'll get on the turnoff, we'll go right back around, we'll take you out your way. But I know it's the next turnoff or the one past it this way, downtown. Trust me, please. And they're sitting like this, and they quit talking to me, and they're looking straight ahead. And I'm saying, oh, shit. Guns under the seat, so all just, whoa. I get up on the freeway, 2 turnoffs, Mills College. In fact, the next one said Mills College, next exit, But they're not relaxing or nothing. I had refused to take them the way they wanted to go and pushed it the other way. That's what scared them. But they didn't know the irony of it was if I'd have gone along their way, I'd have probably said, yeah, well, I'll just follow on through and oops, we'll do it one more time. How do you oops human lives? I don't know those 2 young ladies, and I don't know where they are today, and I don't know that they remember that little incident. But when I drove them to Mills College, inside of Mills College, to their college entrance, right to the building, to the dormitory, and they got out of that car and flew up those stairs, never even looked back. I'll bet they quit hitchhiking quite so casually after that. But you know what? I don't think they know to this day how close that came. And the irony of it is, just to shut them up and not have them freak out, I could have gone the other way. But by that time, then we're going back up that groove of what I had done already and what I was familiar with. See what I'm saying? And that day, I knew I could not stop doing it. I knew I had no control over it. I had just minimal controls. But mainly, I could not stop it. It was going to happen again. And between that weekend day, it was a Saturday or a Sunday, I think it was a Sunday, between that Sunday and the next Saturday, all that week I was working, I built an image in my head, my mother's going to die. I'm going to kill her, and I am going to go to it with the police, and we're going to hold court in the street, and they're going to pound me in the ground, and they can fill in the blanks because I don't want to be around to explain it. All that week, it was a conviction that just got deeper and deeper in me. I got more and more morose. I got less and less talkative at work. I got more somber about what I was doing because almost every minute of every day, I knew that's what that next weekend held. That was Easter weekend, right? Worked half a day Friday, went back to Santa Cruz Friday afternoon, was drinking Friday night, fell asleep before my mother came home, woke up after she came home. And the last words we had were an argument, right? I walked into her bedroom to chat with her. In the back of my mind, I'm not going to try and blame her for dying. I'm just saying, in the back of my mind, I was hoping she could say something or I'd say something that could stop all of this shit. A little childish hope in the back of my mind that she'd say something and I'd play it off.
But you still went with the hammer.
Wait a minute. You're wiping out the moment here. I went in there hoping I could stop this stuff in the back of my head. I'm not planning on it. I'm just a little hope. And the first thing out of her mouth was, she's reading this book and she just flaps it down on herself and says, oh my God, I suppose now you want to stay up all night and talk. That was one of her favorite peeves when I'd come in late at night and want to talk. And once in a long while, like that night, I spun on my heel and said, nope, good night, and walked back out. And she knew she'd hurt my feelings, and the next day we'd sit down and talk. Except I knew that we weren't going to talk. And I went back in my room and I laid down. I did not go to sleep. I laid there for 3 hours, 4 hours, till 4 or 5 in the morning. A little after 5 in the morning, and walked in there with a hammer and caved in the side of her head and cut her throat.
In the end, Kemper was brought to justice and sentenced to life in prison, but his legacy lives on as one of the most terrifying serial killers in history. So the next time you hear the name Ed Kemper, remember the darkness that lurks behind a seemingly ordinary face. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling journey through the world of Ed Kemper. We hope you have been entertained and intrigued by the cases we have covered so far. If you want to stay up to date on all the latest developments in criminal investigations and true crime stories, be sure to subscribe to the Criminal Investigation Files. Hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode. Join our community of fellow armchair detectives and true crime enthusiasts, and let's continue to unravel the mysteries together. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and most importantly, stay subscribed to the Criminal Investigation Files. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.